Hey everybody, this is Perch. This video kind of goes with another video that I'm going to record immediately after this because there's kind of one topic, but it's too big. It would be one of those things where I go for like 25 minutes, or I can do two videos and then extend this channel's life an extra day. It's kind of like that. Anyway, some people sent me the this tweet from Terry Moore, who's a comic artist. A comic artist I like quite a lot actually. Terry Moore, I think's I don't know. It's a style. He's got a great style. Always enjoyed it. Anyway, in basically in the tweet, Terry says, I'm leaving Twitter. I'm going to Bluesky. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't say it's. He doesn't go. It's not because of the Trump, or one way or another. He basically says, look, it's not. I'm not migrating out of protest. I'm migrating out of engagement. And he's like, since the Trump victory and since a lot of people went to Bluesky inside of comics, like I get no engagement now. Like my posts get no attention. So he didn't say it this way. Basically, he kind of said, it's for economics. I'm going where the crowd is because that's what I need to do. And I've seen that sentiment now. A couple people on Bluesky are talking about how the engagement is much better than kind of the last couple months on Twitter, and that they've in some cases a few of them are like, I've got more followers. And then I had so this happened, and then I had a writer that I talked to kind of on and off, um to basically reach out. We had a chat, and she was saying that there's this perception that we're in for a golden era inside of comics because the comic creators on Bluesky, and there's more conversation happening within the comic with comic creators, and it feels like there's more engagement, like that dopamine is flowing more, and so it's good. And her perspective, because she's, I think, uh, a smart woman, definitely one of the people I miss from Seattle, that I used to connect with, when I lived up there. But anyway, um, but she's like, I think these people are in for a really bad surprise because this engagement is mainly just a concentration of friends and people within comics, and it's not really the market engagement. It's not really the buying audience engagement, and it is. And she's 100% right. So one thing about comics that I find fascinating is that it's still, even though a lot of people in comics are younger, they're millennials, or in some cases starting to be younger than that. um there's this very, very old school marketing mentality within comics that I find absolutely fascinating, because it's demonstrably at this point not true. And so this kind of migration to Bluesky is it. Look, if I'll cut to this bit of advice. If you're a comic creator, and let's say you are the most triggered anti-Trump person in the entire world, you should still be on Twitter, especially now with your peers kind of leaving Twitter. You basically, you've got a runway of a lot of people with expendable cash. The current market of comics, the current dominant market of comics as a whole. I'm not talking about specific books. The person who buys X-Men is not the same person who buys Saga. But the current bulk or mass of comic readers, purchasers, are generally people in their kind of later 20s, 30s, 40s, and generally, sad to say, men. That doesn't mean zero women, but you have a mid 30s, 40s male audience that makes up a huge amount of the buying block of comics, and that audience is more heavily on Twitter. And the this but basically this means that if you're a comic creator, you need to separate your mind into two parts. Part one is the part where you want to, have friends, and you want to express social views, and you want to, in some cases, be validated and everything else. And you want to be around like-minded people. I would call this the, you know, on Friday night, who are you going out to have a beer with? You're not going out to somebody you hate or you argue with. You're going out with a friend. So who are your friends you're going out to have beer with? That's one part of your life. The second part of your life is the make money part, the greedy, hungry capitalist, the person who is out to make money. And understand those two are not the same and should not be the same. And there's lots and lots and lots of reasons why you don't have them be the same. One, your friend group should not be everyone. You won't have good friends. It's being friendly to everyone is different than, having a close, involved relationship, emotional attachment to everyone. That would drive you insane. Um, you basically need to make money from lots of people. And if you're a comic creator and you're like, I'm heading off to Bluesky, cool. For that first group, for that friends you're gonna have a beer with, people who socially, agree with you, the people who, you are like mind with, great. Go over there. And that's where you want to post your stuff like, isn't health insurance unfair? Or, you know, why don't we all try communism or whatever, or how's everybody feel about the color blue or, is the dress blue or gold or whatever that kind of dumb bullshit is. That's that's great for Bluesky. That's perfect for Bluesky. And that's absolutely what you should do. For the make money part, get your ass over to where the audience are, you dummies. Like literally, if Twitter is plagued by a bunch of unruly kind of 30, 40-year-old men with disposable income, you want that disposable income. So go there. And then on Twitter, don't post the Comic Skate is a hate group. What do you think of Trump's cabinet pick? All that. Like, don't be transactional. That's where you want to post, photos of like, I've got a comic on Friday. Here it is. Here's some interior pages. Here they are. I'm going to be at this convention doing this signing. Come buy my art. Like literally, you actually, if you're a comic creator, be given a gift, the gift of separating your personal shit from your work shit. And, do your personal shit over on Bluesky, do your work shit over on Twitter. You've got, my God, there's so many scheduling tools where you don't even have to go and see Twitter. Like you don't even have to log into Twitter. You could post your go buy my stuff. Here's the comic coming out. You could schedule it in a program that will log in for you and post for you. You don't even have to ever see it again. But the comic creators who are closing their accounts are morons from a business standpoint. You are an idiot. If you do not have the self-control not to get weighed into a bunch of political and social topics that have nothing to do with making money in Twitter, and some people do. Very famously, Sean Murphy left Twitter, except he didn't leave Twitter. You have this Sean Murphy art sales where it talks about, I'm going to be at this con, here's a piece of art. And you see him posting stuff over there all the time. And as a result, I've had numerous pencilers, artists in comics ask me at cons, at other places, Sean, they pay attention. I don't know if you know this, but they pay attention to what how the sales are going with the other tables down Artist Alley. And I regularly get Sean seems to sell a lot of artwork. How does he do it? And I give the same fucking advice every time. It's like, well, one key thing is use social media to your advantage. You don't see Sean in there talking about his feelings on X, Y, and Z on Twitter. Do you think Sean's not going to Twitter? Well, he actually has some decent self-control. He generally doesn't. But that account is there, and the guy who works for him posts his stuff there, and it's commerce. And if you're a comic artist or creator or writer, whoever else, and you are not using Twitter for commerce, what are you doing? It goes along with this kind of, again, this very dated view of marketing and how it operates. I've got this channel. I can't begin to tell you the amount of comic creators who, when I was in a position I could do interviews easily. I am not now. But when I was in a position where I could do interviews easily, I'd reach out like, hey, you want to come talk on this channel? And I'd frequently hear well, I don't really have anything to promote right now, but when I do, I'll be on. And I remember telling a few people this and just kind of gave up. That's a dumb way of looking at it. Unless you are such a household name that, you don't need to be in the business, you need to be aware that, like, get the interview in. Do you guys not realize how many people look at my interview playlist and look at the hits on it? They way higher than any other video I do, way higher. And the biggest reason is one, I put it on a bunch of other podcasting services and other things. And so these interviews get listened to, months or years later. And so you are keeping yourself in the buyer's mind. Do the interview. Now, by the way, I think there's two groups of people who've rejected the interview. There's people who say, I don't have anything to promote. And what they really mean is you're a, hate group adjacent channel and you say negative things about comics from time to time. So I'm never going to go there. And that's like Scott Snyder, love Scott. And Scott, you listen from time to time. And I'm never sure what you listen to, what you don't. But I forgive you, man. I know you're not going to come on this channel. I know you have no intention of doing so. You don't need to say, yeah, I'll be on there someday when I'm not so busy. I'm not, I have eyes. I see you showing up on other channels. I know you can do it. But I also understand that you're tied into a bunch of other people. And if you appear on this show, they'll be looking sideways at you like, what you doing on that guy's channel? He's a bad guy. And I find that whole thing ridiculous, but look, I don't blame you. Like, who would want to deal with that bullshit? So no problem. No problem. I mean, a little bit of problem because I think you should do the interview because people should hear from you. And I think you'd have a lot of interesting things to say, but I get it. I get it. And then I think there's there's other people who legitimately do believe that I will go on when I have something to promote. And I'm just telling you, that's crazy. That's old school marketing thought. If you have a chance to go on and do an interview somewhere, do it. Yes, when you have something you're launching, do more. But you being in the public eye, you getting that perception out there is healthy for you as a creator, very healthy for you. So, Joe Quesada is a guy I talk to from time to time. It's been a month or two now. But anyway, Joe Quesada is somebody to talk to, and Joe has done I'll definitely come on the show and do an interview when I have something big to promote. And I don't think he is, I don't think he's playing the game of like, I'm going to say it to be nice, but I really have no intention. I don't think so. But I do think, I think it's silly. I just think it's an old way of doing things. And companies will do this sometimes. They'll give comments like, we can't do too much press. Yes, you can. What are you, nuts? You absolutely can. Do as much press as you can. Go for as many things as you can. I think it's crazy. Saturate. If it's free, don't waste a bunch of money doing that, but saturate. Anyway. Well, I guess my point in all this is, look, if you're on Bluesky, and you're like, I'm going where the attention is. My friend is right. You are, you're cutting your own throat to some extent. You're getting engagement, but you're not getting buyer engagement. And I think reconsider, and especially now, a bunch of your friends / competitors have abandoned ship for ideological reasons. Like, you've got a clear playing field to get attention. And if the site really triggers you in such an extreme way, you've got tons of tools to never see it again and yet still harness it for marketing. Like, my God, what are you doing? Anyway, thanks for listening.